Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. Although today is a little different because I don't see any fountain pens or inks or planners in my setup here. I wanted to actually take you through some of my favorite stationery items that help me with my day-to-day journaling or help me with my pen and ink journal, or just things that I can't do without when I'm filming any video or just doing anything for the journaling hobby, essentially. So I wanted to start with showing all of these off. I've got my list of 10 or 11 items that I want to show you that I use very regularly, and I'll include links to all of these down in the description below. Let's get started. First thing I wanted to show you is this ruler that kind of looks beat up, but I get asked questions about this ruler all the time. I love that this ruler is clear. It's got the different angles on it, even though I don't really use the protractor. And then you've got the measurement in inches here, but also you have the different lines that show you or make it easy actually to really measure when you've got this on top of a piece of paper. This is a ruler that I purchased from Michael's back in 2017, but you can actually purchase similar rulers to this. This is a quilting ruler that you can purchase on Amazon. So I'll include a link in the description below. But one of the reasons why I like this is because when I'm measuring, I can see whether or not, based on these lines here, if this ruler is actually straight. So for example, if I want to, let's say, put this on my notebook, and I mean, this is a notebook with grid lines in it already, so it's going to be difficult, but if I'm lining this up, if I know that these lines are also straight or flush with the lines underneath, then I know that this ruler is actually straight when I've got it sitting on my paper like this. And that's one of the great things that I love about this ruler, is that because it is so big but also clear and has those grid lines, it just makes it easy to make sure that my lines are straight, because I definitely need help with making sure that the lines that I draw on my paper are straight. And if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I struggle with that. So first things first, in terms of my favorite stationery items, we have my crafting ruler. My next favorite thing, and these are always on my desk, are my pen trays. And I have multiple here, so I'm going to show you a few that I have on my desk. So this first one is that hoses. This one here holds 5 pens, and this one is from Fountain Pendulum, and it's just in this beautiful wood. But what I love about this particular pen tray is the felt at the bottom, which make sure that it doesn't slide around too easily on my table, but it just looks so beautiful when it holds all of my pens here. And this just sits on my desk with all of my currently inked pens, and it just makes my pen collection feel that much more luxurious sitting on a wooden pen tray like this. And then for another cute little pen tray, this is from Toyoka Craft. I purchased it at the San Francisco Pen Show, and it's just beautifully made. It's got a few pieces of felt on the corners as well, but Toyoka Craft is always so busy. Whenever we go to a pen show, they've just got beautiful drawers and pen trays, and by the time I got to their table at the end of the San Francisco Pen Show, this was one of the few things that they had, but I couldn't pass that up because it's such a great way to hold your pens. But another pen tray that I absolutely love is this modular one from Fountain Pendulum. This one is actually, and I'll actually move this out of the way, this one is magnetic. So you can have, and now I'm not going to be able to pull them apart, you can have your fountain pen ink sample here, and then you got your individual pen tray here, but then you can put them together with a magnet like that, and I just love it. These all sit on my desk for my currently inked, and I cannot live without these pen trays. While I do love, rickshaw pen sleeves and things, I love being able to see the pens that I'm using and not have to take them out of any pen cases. And because I work from home and I don't really take my stationery out and about with me as often, because it makes me sound like I'm a bit of a hermit. I don't leave my house that often, but because I don't, my pens can sit on pen trays like these for an extended period of time, or during the currently inked month. And I just love them because then I could see my pens all the time and they're displayed beautifully. So pen trays are my second favorite thing for my stationery items. The third stationery item that I love wasn't actually a stationery item that I was a big fan of when I first got into planning and journaling. When I used to see people take stickers with tweezers, of all things, I thought, no way, these people are just being extra. But now I am so used to taking stickers off of the sticker sheet with these tweezers and then placing them down with just that much more precision. And because I have longer nails, it is actually a bit harder for me to take stickers off sticker sheets, but tweezers, who knew that these would be such a game changer? For example, I'm going to bring out some of my stickers here, and it just is that much easier. Instead of having to do this, although this one is easy, it's just, I find it so much more convenient to hold a sticker like this and place it down on my journal just like that. There's something about having the control with tweezers versus just using my fingers. And I prefer tweezers that have this pointed tip as well. You can certainly use your regular blunt tip tweezers, but there's just extra control that you can get with these. So I guess my third favorite stationery item, and this kind of looks janky, sorry, because they're used every day. It's got like washi tape stuck on them. They're just regular tweezers with a pointed tip. You don't have to purchase very expensive ones. You can just get ones that you'd have at the dollar store, or don't even go to Michael's to get tweezers. Go to the dollar store and get tweezers. But these are just so great for taking stickers off sticker sheets and then placing them down. Who knew? Tweezers. My next favorite stationery items are these stamps. Now, I use this weather stamp, and I purchased this from AliExpress, and I will leave a link to it in the description below. But I love these because you actually just push down on these individual buttons to get the stamp that you want, and then you have the individually inked stamps. And it's so cute to be able to do the weather with all these. Now, I don't really use the Thunderbolt or the Rainbow. I mostly use these four up at the top. And I know there's other weather stamps out there as well, but I just love the format of this. You've got 6 stamps in one little setup like this, and they actually stay pretty well inked. I've had this, I think, for maybe about a year, and it's just so great for use in my planner, especially in my passport planner. I thought I wouldn't have enough space for this, but this is actually the perfect amount of space for keeping track of the weather in my passport planner. I'm actually going to pull that out now and just show you what the weather looks like in my passport planner. So it fits in there really well. It doesn't take up a ton of space when I actually stamp it. And because I live in Canada and we keep track of weather pretty religiously, the weather stamp has been something that I have loved adding to my weekly Plan With Me's. The other stamps that I am loving are from Everyday Explorers Co. I bought 2 sets from Christine no, it wasn't at the San Francisco Pen Show. I purchased these and had them sent to my hotel when I was visiting LA. And the sets that I have are the currently ink set as well as the new Pen Day set. And I use these actually a lot when it comes to swatching my inks. I haven't used this set as much, but I mean, you can certainly see why you would use this. You've got the ink rating, the different ink bottles. I love this ink splatter, which you've seen me use that. You've got the different nibs. It's such a great way to use stamping in your ink journals and organize your pens and inks that way. And then you also know that I use the pen profile stamp a lot in my new Pen Day videos. So that comes in, let me grab it here, in the new Pen Day set from Everyday Explorers Co. So I will link this in the description below, but these are just such great stamps. And just check out Christine's shop because she has so many stamps for journaling. Now, I don't use stamps for journaling really because for me personally, I'm lazy, and I admire anyone who has a huge collection of stamps and is able to use them in such a creative way. Whereas for me, it's more functional. I use this pen profile stamp. I use the brand name, and then I use maybe a couple of these. I need to be better about using this, but I do love having the pen profile stamp when I'm doing my new Pen Day videos. It just makes profiling, but also logging each of my new Pen Day purchases easier with this. So stamps. And then on top of that, you're going to ask me, what is the best stamp pad when it comes to making sure that they don't bleed through or shadow onto my river paper? My favorite stamp is Versa. magic. And I highly recommend this because this dries very quickly. It is chalk ink. It dries very quickly and doesn't bleed through your Tomoe River paper. There's very little shadowing. I'm actually going to show you in my pen and ink journal. Let's see here. So you see that I've used the pen profile stamp here. And then when you look at the back, a little bit of shadow, but not too much. Whereas other stamp pads that I've used takes forever to dry and will always bleed through. So I highly, highly recommend, especially if you're using thinner paper like Tomoe River paper, Versamagic's chalk ink. So my stamps and my stamp pad. My next favorite stationery items are something simple, but brass clips. I have brass clips on all of my journals. And here's my 5-year journal. I am the type of person where when I'm writing or journaling, and I actually even, do I have one? No, I don't have it here. Yeah, oh, sorry, I have one here. When I am writing or journaling, I find that brass clips are the ones that basically hold the page down as flat as it can be for me. I don't like it when you've got like those ripples on the page when you're trying to write with it. For me, having those brass clips, especially really cute ones, especially this one from the Coffee Monsters Co., you've got the little emoji bum. And then on the front, you've got the little emoji, but I always post it or show it this way. But this helps to have a very even, flat surface, and I don't have to worry about the page wrinkling while I'm trying to write on it. Something so simple, but a brass clip also adds just a lovely little decoration to your notebook or journal. But for me, it really is functional. It's the strongest type of clip that will keep my page flat for me. But also it has to be a specific type of brass clip. Now, a brass clip that has really sharp edges that start to dig into the paper, I do not like. But these brass clips from Coffee Monsters Co., but also, where are my Travelers Company ones? Here we go. My Travelers Company ones with the flat edges so that they don't dig into the pages, but still have a nice firm grip so that the page lays flat. These ones are my favorite. And then these ones are actually pretty good as well. I purchased these off of AliExpress for pretty cheap. I think, is it just these two? I feel like I have a third. And then if I do, I have nowhere. Oh, no, I have 2 Travelers Notebook. I have 2 Coffee Monsters Co. And then I have 2 of these. So I have 6 brass clips all together because I want to make sure that I have one in every notebook because they just work so well for me. So my next favorite stationery item are brass clips. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. The 6th one is on my notebook. So yes, I like these. My next favorite item also has to do with me wanting to write on a flat, hard surface. It is the Hobonichi pencil boards. And I've tried other pencil boards before, but I really like the material of this. I love the way that it allows me to write on a flat surface. I know some people actually really enjoy being able to write on like this soft, cushy paper and be able to feel a little bit of bounciness by writing on paper. That is not me. I like having a hard surface to write smoothly on. I have a pencil board in basically every notebook. So I've got one in my journal. I've got one in my pen and ink journal. I have one in my doodling journal. I have 2 in my work notebook, plus this one. And then I have one in my A6 Hobonichi 5-year journal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I have 7, and then I think I still have an extra one somewhere just in case. Yes, I know, crazy, but it's something that I use on a day-to-day basis. I use it every time I write in my journal. I use it in my work notebook. There's just something about the experience of being able to write on a flat surface. And Hobonichi sells these for pretty inexpensive, and you can also purchase these on Amazon. And it's for me, a great way that if you don't want to actually purchase any of the planners from Hobonichi, but still want to purchase something for that year's designs, a pencil board is a really inexpensive way to do that. Oh, is that another one? Oh yeah, no, that's another A6 one. I have many of these, but I don't mind because they're not crazy expensive and I know that I will use them. So pencil boards. Actually, this is a question for you. Do you like writing on pencil boards or do you not? I feel like there's a 50-50 split among people out there in the journaling community. So let me know. Yes, pencil board, no pencil board. I am definitely in the yes pencil board camp. My next favorite stationery item is definitely one that is imperative if you use fountain pen inks, and it is blotting paper. I couldn't figure out the name for a second. Blotting paper. Again, I have a lot of these, but these are pretty inexpensive when you buy them in packs. So the first set of blotting paper I ever purchased was from J. Herbon, and they came in a pack like this. I haven't even used all of them. So there's a pack of these, and they're not a one use and you throw them away. You can actually use them to your heart's content until they look even worse than this. I think I have one that's much worse than this that I did end up actually throwing away and starting a new one. But then there's so many different designs. I have this one from Esterbrook, this one from the Coffee Monsters Co. There's actually a few, no, that's not a, that is not a blotting paper, but so many from the Coffee Monsters Co. collaboration. And they're just a great way to make sure that you don't smudge your writing. And for me, that is a really important aspect, like because of using fountain pen inks, and some of the inks are a little wetter than others, I want to make sure that I don't smudge my writing. But also, because of the way that I write, I rest my hand on the paper, and then the oils and the lotions or anything like that from my hand will end up transferring to the paper. But if I'm writing on blotting paper or have my hand on the blotting paper, then I'm making sure that I'm not transferring that to the Tomoe River paper that I'm writing on, and thereby affecting the, well, let's say thereby affecting the pen and paper ink pairing once it actually happens, once they actually combine. So blotting paper, inexpensive, but I think really, really great part of my everyday stationery items. And last but not least, we have this weird looking thing here. It is a paper punch, and I use this to create, I'm gonna grab my notebook here, but I use this in my pen and ink journal to create all of those little paper swatches. I used to do this with just scissors and lining them up and measuring them out, and it took ages. And then I don't know who it was that suggested to get a paper punch, but I got this paper punch and it saves me so much time. Obviously, I don't use the full width, I only use half, and then I'm able to get the exact size of the paper swatches that I want. But oh my gosh, just this saved me so much time, and it's just funny thing, you know, great investment. The amount of time that I used to spend cutting every single one of those pieces of paper took ages. But now, something that I actually enjoy doing for my pen and ink journal is cutting these out, because I have such a simple tool that helps me do this in a fraction of the time. Gosh, I sound like an infomercial, but really, paper punches are amazing. But also, you could use this to cut out anything for your junk journal, or you can cut out pictures with this. It's such a multifunctional tool, but for me, I mainly use this for my paper swatches in my ink journal, and I cannot live without this. As soon as I received it, I'm like, how have I lived without this piece of genius for so long? But I mean, it saves me so much time. I'm able to get this done faster. And then my other favorite thing here is this Mono Air permanent adhesive. This is what I use to glue each of these paper swatches on here, and that just makes my life so much easier. These two, the punch and the Mono Air adhesive from Tombow. It's a permanent adhesive. It's clear, and when I tape or glue these on, I only glue just the top portion, but even the top portion, it doesn't seep through the paper, thereby affecting the ink and paper together. So one of my favorite, if not like, well, yeah, one of my favorite stationery items, the punch and the Mono Air adhesive. I wouldn't be able to do my pen and ink journal without these two. So there are my favorite stationery items that I use either daily or weekly, and I wouldn't be able to do any of my planning or journaling without these. I will include links to as many of these as I can in the description below. But if you have any questions, please let me know. What are some of your top 5 or top 10 favorite stationery items that you cannot live without? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.